characters. I love getting to know their backstories, seeing their designs and reimagining what they could be like in other fandoms, scenarios and worlds. What elements would each character from Genshin Impact have in Avatar: The Last Airbender? What twisted Wonderland dorm could each Ensemble Stars character fit into? Those are questions I like to explore for fun and eventually turn into designs as well. That's what I did for one of these ideas for the project I'll talk about today, drawing Honkai Star Rail characters as idols. We'll also have a look at possible connections and interactions these Honkai Star Rail characters could have to Genshin Impact characters along the way. Hi, here's May, and today we'll talk about the fourth idol group, Astrilic. As with the previous 3 videos, I start with sharing some general themes and aesthetics I used as inspiration for the designs and illustrations here. Alongside this, I am showing the mood board I used with my visual inspirations. Maybe you'd like to guess what characters I drew for the group based off this and the visuals I'm showing here in the comments. The first aesthetic would be Y2K Futurism. Y2K Futurism is a sleek, tech-inspired aesthetic that imagines a shiny, optimistic future through the lens of the early 2000s. Visually, it features metallic fabrics, chrome textures, translucent gadgets, bold typefaces, low-rise silhouettes, and sci-fi influences like spiky hair, silver makeup, and cybercore details. The overall vibe is cool, synthetic and futuristic, blending digital optimism, retro-futurist nostalgia, and a bold space-age fashion twist. Then I also used the general Y2K aesthetic as inspiration here. Y2K is a nostalgic aesthetic inspired by late 1990s to 2000s pop culture, fashion and tech, blending playful futurism with flashy, trend-forward styling. It features shiny fabrics, low-rise jeans, baby tees, chunky accessories, flip phones, and a lot of pink, silver and denim. The overall vibe is bold, fun and a little chaotic, capturing the energy of early internet culture, bubblegum pop and futuristic confidence. As another aesthetic, I have Vaporwave. Vaporwave is a surreal, nostalgic aesthetic that blends retro technology, glitchy visuals, and 80s to 2000 consumer culture into a dreamy digital vibe. It's known for pastel pinks and blues, ancient statues, pixelated graphics, Japanese text, old-school computers, and corporate logos, often layered with lo-fi edits and strange melancholic moods. The overall feel is both hypnotic and ironic, caught between celebrating and critiquing a past that feels artificial, futuristic, and oddly beautiful. And finally, I would add Magical Girl as an aesthetic. Magical Girl is a sparkly, feminine aesthetic inspired by anime heroines who balance everyday life with saving the world using transformation magic and friendship. Visually, it's filled with ribbons, glitter, wands, colorful uniforms, and heart or star-shaped accessories, often in soft pastels or bold, vibrant hues. The vibe is empowering and emotional, celebrating courage, connection, and the magic of growing up while staying true to yourself. The first character I'd like to talk about for this group would be Kylus, the Trailblazer. Here are some thoughts for roles he could take in the idol group. First, a general description of the role, then I'll add why he fits to me. The main dancer is the one who leads choreography and usually takes center stage during high-energy dance parts. Kylus fits this role because he's surprisingly focused and expressive when it comes to physical performance, even if he usually may be more low-key. He'd probably freestyle in practice just for fun and pull off complicated moves without showing off. Somehow he'd be able to make every routine look effortless and cool. Now for the second role he may take, the behind-the-scenes role. This would include tasks he may do to help the idol group that don't involve singing and dancing on stage. The lyricist writes the group's songs, shaping the emotion and meaning behind the music. Since Kylus is introspective and thoughtful, writing would be a natural way for him to process all the things he's seen and experienced. He'd write lyrics that feel a little abstract at first but have deep meaning once you read between the lines. Maybe he'd throw in random references that only make sense after a few listens. As a third role, I'll talk about Kylus' group dynamic role, which would be mostly about his personality and how this affects the way he interacts in the group. The diva is the stylish and bold personality in the group, someone who's not afraid to stand out and take the spotlight. Kylus isn't a typical diva on the outside, but he could have a quietly iconic vibe, being unexpectedly dramatic at times. He'd show up in a wild outfit without warning, say something weird in a casual voice during interviews, and have fans constantly wondering, is he joking or serious? The answer may probably be both. That's it for the first character. The second character in this group is Gepard. First, his on-stage role. The sub-vocalist helps support the main vocals with harmonies or smaller lines, keeping the performance balanced and strong. Gepard fits this role because he's not one to chase the spotlight, but he'll always show up when it counts, making sure the performance feels solid. He'd probably have a steady, strong tone and be super reliable during live shows, maybe not flashy, but always dependable and on point. Now let's go over Gepard's behind-the-scenes role. The lyricist helps shape the group's message by writing lyrics that reflect emotion, values, or stories. Gepard might not seem like the creative type at first, but when working with someone like Kalos, he'd bring in a grounded perspective, writing lyrics about loyalty, duty, and staying strong. He'd probably focus on structure and clarity, making sure every verse flows well while letting Kalos throw in the wild metaphors. Together, they'd make a balanced and probably iconic writing duo. Finally, I'll share my thoughts on Gepard's group dynamic role. The mom of the group looks after the others, helping with schedules, making sure people are okay and keeping things running smoothly. Gepard definitely fits this role to me. He's very responsible, always on top of things, and low-key worries about everyone, even if he doesn't say it. He'd be the one who prepares everything for long rehearsals, sets alarms for morning wake-ups, and gently lectures anyone who forgot their lines or moves. I could see him being the one quietly managing chaos while pretending it's no big deal. Now for the third character, Boot Hill. Let's start with his on-stage role. The leader is the one who takes the lead in performances, keeps the group together, and usually sings the most impactful parts. Boot Hill fits this role because he's confident, expressive, naturally grabbing attention the second he walks in. He has main character energy for days. He'd hype up the crowd like no one else, sing with tons of energy and flair, and lead the group like a cowboy running the wildest concert in the galaxy. Now for Boot Hill's BTS role, the visual shapes the group's image with their looks and style, and the social media manager keeps fans connected through posts and updates. Boot Hill is flashy, fearless, and super in tune with how to make people look and keep looking. That's why to me, these two roles are a perfect match for him. He'd post selfies with wild captions, plan the most over-the-top stage outfits, and probably start fan trends without even trying. Chaotic but iconic. Next, my thoughts on Boot Hill's role group dynamic-wise. The happy virus is the mood maker of the group, always smiling, joking, and keeping everyone's spirits up. Boot Hill fits this role effortlessly. He's loud, optimistic, and always knows how to make people laugh, even during stressful moments. He'd be cracking jokes during practice, cheering everyone on with way too much enthusiasm. The most boring rehearsal may turn into something fun just from having him around. I would also see him as the type to run the stage and the group chat. Let's move on to the fourth character, Welt. First, his on-stage role. The sub-vocalist supports the main singers with harmonies or smaller lines, helping to add depth to the performance. Welt fits this role because he doesn't need to be front and center. He knows how to make a performance stronger by adding the right details at the right time. He'd sing with a steady tone, always hitting the right emotional notes and quietly holding the group together during live shows. After the on-stage role, let's go over the behind-the-scenes role next. The composer creates the overall sound and emotion of the group's songs, from melodies to background instrumentals. Welt's background as an animator and strategist means he's creative but also detail-oriented, so he'd take this role very seriously. He'd probably spend hours crafting layered cinematic tracks with meaning behind every beat and quietly hand over something that gives the whole group goosebumps. Next for the role, I could see Welt having group dynamic-wise. The responsible leader keeps things running smoothly, making sure the group stays organized and supporting members behind the scenes. Welt fits this role perfectly. He's calm under pressure, always thinking ahead and probably already doing half the organizing before anyone even asks. He reminds people about deadlines, help mediate when there's tension, and offer quiet encouragement that somehow makes everyone feel more grounded and ready to go. The final character for this group would be Mose. Did you guess any of the characters correctly when I showed the mood board at the start of the video? Now let's talk about Mose's role on stage. The rapper takes on the boldest lines in the song, fast, intense, and full of attitude. Mose fits this role because even though he's quiet, he has a sharp, cutting energy that would come through perfectly in a calm but powerful rap delivery. He'd probably stay completely expressionless while rapping, but still manage to sound intense and focused with lyrics that hit hard in just a few words. Next, I'll share my thoughts on Mose's possible behind-the-scenes role. The composer builds the group's sound by creating the instrumentals and shaping the vibe of the music. Mose's nature makes him a perfect fit for this. He's hands-on and precise. I could see him being the type to experiment quietly until he gets the perfect track. He'd work well with someone like Welt, adding sleek, clean beats and layered detail, probably sending over a finished song at 2 AM with no message, just results. Finally, we have Moses' group dynamic role. The Ice Prince is the quiet, mysterious one in the group, cool under pressure, hard to read, but always kind of iconic. Moses embodies this. He doesn't talk much, stays in the background, and still somehow steals attention just by existing. He'd say maybe 5 words during interviews, always look sharp in performances, and have fans obsessed with trying to figure out what he is really thinking. He may be the one who silently keeps the group cool, literally and vibe-wise. Now that we've gone through the Honkai Star Rail characters, let's look at some Genshin Impact characters that could fit to each of the characters as idols here. Kailos would remind me of Aether because both are travelers with introspective, quiet personalities. As an idol, Aether might differ by being more serious and neutral than Kailos' occasional playful diva moments, but he would share the same thoughtful lyricist role, turning his journey and bonds into layered song lyrics. Aether might not be as flashy in dance as Kailos, but he'd bring the same calm focus, embodying a main dancer who seems effortless while hiding the weight of experience behind his movements. Gepard reminds me of Chongyun because both are disciplined, duty-driven and quietly caring at their core. As idols, Chongyun would differ in being more awkward and careful about his emotional outbursts compared to Gepard's steady calmness, but he'd share the role of a reliable sub-vocalist with a dependable, clear tone. Behind the scenes, Chongyun could also echo Gepard's lyric writing role, channeling his exorcist's discipline into verses about purity, responsibility, and perseverance. Similarly to Gepard, as the group's mom, Chongyun would try to take care of others. However, in his case, he may sometimes accidentally cause chaos when his positive energy overwhelms him. Boothill would remind me of Heizo because both are energetic, quick thinkers and naturally captivating personalities. As an idol, Heizo possesses a clever charm while Boothill has more of a loud cowboy flair. Both would shine as leaders and main vocalists, bringing charisma that keeps the spotlight on them. Heizo would also thrive as the group's visual and social media manager, using his sharp humor and playful spirit to engage fans, which mirrors Boothill's chaotic but magnetic presence. Where Boothill spreads joy as the happy virus, Heizo would keep the mood light with teasing and sharp one-liners, effortlessly keeping energy high. Welt reminds me of Xingqiu because both are refined, thoughtful, and naturally supportive personalities. Xingqiu may be a bit more mischievous than Welt, who has more of a calm and responsible style, but both would fit perfectly as sub-vocalists, adding harmonies and emotional depth. Xingqiu could also share Welt's composer role since his love for literature and chivalry could translate into elegant, poetic tracks. Like Welt, as the group's responsible leader, Xingqiu would bring an organizing presence, though he'd slip in jokes or pranks along the way, keeping the group from being too serious. Moses would remind me of Albedo because both are quiet, analytical, and enigmatic figures who keep to themselves but draw attention when they act. While both could fit the Ice Prince role, Albedo might have a more soft-spoken intellectual take on this, while Mose would be more icy and mysterious. I could see both of them thriving as composers, shaping the group's sound with precision and artistry. Similarly to Mosey, Albedo would bring carefully crafted songs that feel both technical and emotional, adding layers to the group's music. While Mosey embodies more of a dark, unreadable presence, Albedo would balance that with a gentler but equally enigmatic aura, leaving fans captivated by his rare glimpses of warmth. And that's it for the characters in the fourth group. Which character and which of the illustrations I drew do you like most? Do you have any other ideas on what these characters could be like as idols? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because this is the final part of this small series, I'd also like to add an insight here. In case you haven't seen the other videos, this will be kind of a spoiler here, so feel free to stop watching now and come back when you've seen all the other parts as well. Now for the insight. For each group, I had a main region or place from Honkai Star Rail as theme inspiration that I chose characters from. For the first group, this would be Amphoreus. For the second group, it would be Penacony. For the third one, Changzhou Lufu. And for the fourth group that I talked about today, it would be the Astral Express. Which of these regions and which of the four groups do you like most? Who is your personal favorite Honkai Star Rail character? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. I have the illustrations included in this video as prints on my shop, and on the back sides of these prints are actually the illustrations from back when I drew Genshin Impact characters as idols a while back. Similarly to how I sorted idol characters to the Honkai Star Rail characters in this video, I also aligned the characters on the back with Honkai Star Rail characters they at least kind of fit to me. For example, on the back side of Kayla's print would be Ether. On my Patreon, you can find full-screen recorded process videos, time-lapses and full-resolution images of my art. And if you'd like to see the videos where I drew Genshin Impact characters as idols, I leave a link to the playlist with this here. I've also studied the Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail art styles in several videos before in case this is interesting to you. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, bye.